Hello and welcome to my channel. It's good to have you here, and it's good to subscribe, comment, and like. Okay, but please be charitable with your comments, yeah? All right, so my name is Johan. I'm from Sarawak in Malaysian Borneo, and welcome to this channel. This channel is all about something that I'm going to share with you. Now, I don't say things directly. I say things in an otherwise manner. Okay. Shout out to all of those who are neurodivergent like myself and who think differently. The world is a much better place because of us. All right. Shout out to Netflix, Kingdom of Heaven, and the following movie after that. What I love about that movie is that it tells us a story, a very important story. It may be the end of Uhtred, son of Uhtred's life. This was a man who was born of Anglo-Saxon heritage. He was born in the kingdom of Northumbria at the time of Viking raids. And he was born in a place where the castle of Bamborough is today. And in fact, that is his heritage. But when he was very small, around maybe 7 or 8 or 10 years old, I'm not so sure, he possibly looked like that as a child, he was kidnapped and his father was killed by Viking raiders. Now this is a little bit close to my heart because on my mother's father's side, I'm a Doyle. And Doyles were the Vikings of Ireland or Ireland. And that comes into play a little bit later in my story today, because if what the Kingdom of Heaven's, if what the last kingdom story stands true, is that it says something about my ancestry too. But we'll talk about that much later. So as I get my thoughts straight, he grew up as a Viking, but he had Anglo-Saxon heritage. He was brought up as a heathen, not as a Christian, and later he worked very closely with King Alfred the Great, yeah? And at this time, if you notice, post-Roman Britain was divided into 7 kingdoms known as the Heptarchy, and was all called Englaland. But it was not united England. It was divided between the Kingdom of Wessex, the Kingdom of East Anglia, the Kingdom of Kent, Kingdom of Mercia, a Kingdom of Northumbria, a few other kingdoms that make up to 7 kingdoms. All right, and those 7 kingdoms were known as the Heptarchy. Now, if you see the end of the last kingdom, is it the last kingdom? Yeah. If you see the end of it, I saw the whole series. It was very bloody, but I also saw the movie, and I was very touched by the end of the movie. But first of all, if you watch the whole series, it ends with Uhtred, son of Uhtred, getting his castle and his kingdom back under the reign of King Edward the Wise, who is the son of King Alfred. And he's possibly the progenitor of all the later King Edwards that would come in English history, like Edward I Longshanks, Edward II, Edward III, during the Plantagenet dynasty, or even Edward the Confessor, who gave up England and promising it to the Norman knight William the Bastard, or Guillaume de Bastard, later known as William the Conqueror, who conquered England in 1066 after winning the Battle of Hastings. Now, I get excited by all of this because I'm a historian and I love history, even though I'm mainly focused on Bornean and Asian history right now. But I love this because on my mother's side, I am a European, I am Celtic, I am Scottish, and this is a little blend with that. And by the way, this hat, the reason why I'm wearing it is that I bought it in Windsor. Okay, is that in the Kingdom of Wessex? I'm not so sure. It's in the Kingdom of Berkshire anyway. And my grandmother's family came from there, came from the Kingdom of Berkshire during the 11th, 12th century. They were milk farmers, milk saps, okay? Later on became millsops. So, and they migrated to Northern Ireland. All right, so there's a bit of my English heritage here as well. When I was very small, I thought I was only Scottish, and then that expanded to being Irish, and now I've got a cacophony of of descendants, ranging from people in Cornwall to people in Huddersfield in Yorkshire, and also in East Anglia. Shout out to my sister who's living in Norwich teaching yoga. So, and the reason why I'm so passionate about this is because I'm an English language teacher myself. And this is at the very beginning of this global tongue that we take for granted. Everyone speaks English today, but how did it all start? All right, so Uhtred, son of Uhtred. That doesn't sound like a very English start, does it? It sounds like a very Scandinavian start. But he was the man, it says, according to Netflix's The Last Kingdom. He is the man to have started it. And he was kind of like a king chooser rather than a king himself, even though he was the Lord of Bambra. And in the film, which precedes the series, I highly encourage you to watch both of them, Alexander Dreymon portrays Uhtred, son of Uhtred. And he's got this Danish accent, this sort of Scandinavian accent. So it goes to show the authenticity of choosing certain actors from parts of the world that are not necessarily English. The Anglo-Saxons are portrayed by the English, but these people, the Vikings, are portrayed by true Scandinavians, people from Denmark, Germany, and the Nordic countries. So what happened is the Scots, another on my mum's side, I would be very Scottish in the 80s because my mum comes from Glasgow, yeah. So, and shout out to all those in Scotland, Glasgow, and Northern Ireland. So, what actually happened was the Scots, the Shetlanders, the Orcadians, the Kingdom of Manx, and the Vikings in Ireland, which in those days called Ireland. And this is where I come in because my ancestor, the Doyles, came into Dublin as Viking raiders, and they established the city of Dublin as the Dark Ones. That's what the word Doyle means. And we were known as the Danes that came from Ireland. And one time I went on holiday to both Copenhagen, and I went to Roskilde, and then I went to County Wicklow in Ireland at the same time, around the same time. And I saw the story of my ancestors weave out. How cool is that? But anyway, we Dark Ones, dark hair, yeah, Dark Ones, invaded Ireland, and it said that in that last kingdom, it was one of the Vikings from Ireland that rallied all these non-English people to fight an Anglo-Saxon united army under Uhtred, son of Uhtred, at the place called Brunanburgh. And this Battle of Brunanburgh is the greatest battle of medieval Europe. But out of it, the English won. And I like how one of the Irish actors in the movie said, the Irish actor in the movie, I've got his name, but he's a really good actor, and he does a lot of commenting. And said, I hope you don't consider me English. At the very, very point in which English identity is established in medieval Europe. So finally, England is united under King Aethelstan, the grandson of King Alfred. So you have King Alfred and his daughter Aethelflaed becomes Queen of Mercia, and his son Edward the Wise becomes king of most of England, but not the whole of England. And the reason why Uhtred, son of Uhtred, did not want to give homage to Edward the Wise was because he was very racist. He was against the Vikings. So for England to be one, you had to be multicultural and accept the Viking identity as part of the English identity, which is a very interesting thing to note. But this is the beginning of a nation that later carved out through world history, and in 1,000 years became an industrial power, leading the country of Great Britain into a global enterprise, and thus creating a lot of the modern things today, and most importantly, the language we speak today is the inheritance of that. And I like that so much because it combines my passion for history with my passion for storytelling and my passion also for English language, and which all three subjects I can be your personal tutor if you'd like. I'm very knowledgeable in all those three areas. And I'm also the writer of many books. I've created a different universe for myself. And some of these things, together with my singing, I'm going to put into this channel, together with some of the AI shorts. I'm using the AI shorts as much as cheesy as it is, as AI as it is, just to get the traffic, because who am I? I'm nobody really in this world. Nobody knows me. All right. So basically I want to get some traffic into my channel. That's where the AI shorts come in, because we all need our bread and life, even if we can't go out teaching. So I'm also the author of this book, Stories from Another Universe. Okay, it's sold on Amazon. I'm an author of A Tale of Two Daughters and Other Stories, which is, pardon me, I don't think it's here, but it's, I think I've got all the copies of that one there. Yeah. And of course, the Book of Mazdak is another one that I read. And I'll be doing some of the daily readings from these books, and I put them out free for now, but when it comes to monetization, some of those will be the perks that you might get, as well as classes as well. So welcome to my channel, comment, subscribe, and like, and thank you for watching.